Hello, hello! It is another Wednesday in those very gloomy city of Chicago today, unfortunately, when it was so beautiful yesterday. But I am excited for our next little chat that we're going to be having here in honor of the release of the Creativity Gene. We have JP who will be checking in any minute now. And we're going to be talking a little bit about his creative. Hello, Ashley. We're going to be talking about his creative insight. And he's done so much recently and in the past few years in his creative journey. And I think that it'll be a fantastic conversation to have because it gives us a little bit of insight into what can happen when we take our creativity and we align it with our career goals. And so JP has done quite a lot. I actually had the pleasure of seeing him. He does a ton, and you'll find out, but he is a break dancer and he is a photographer, and I saw him perform on Celebrity Cruises just a little bit ago. Oh, and here he is. Okay, so JP, I think you can request to join, and then we'll get started here. But I actually had the pleasure of seeing him perform on Celebrity Cruises on The Edge, because as you'll find out, well, I'll just tell you now, we were introduced to each other by my husband, who actually worked with him. And let's see if we can get him going on here. And so I was able to see him perform in Eden, which was this like crazy awesome new show. There he is, JP. Hey. How are you?
I'm alive, you know.
Good, I'm glad. That's a start. Yeah, coffee, exactly. I'm right there with you. Cheers.
You can never have enough cups.
No, definitely not. That's for sure. Definitely not. So I was just kind of telling about how I first encountered you, like as a dancer, which was on Celebrity Edge. I saw you perform there, which was awesome, and that we were connected through my husband who worked with you.
Yes.
And so what basically how it came about was I was asking Steve, because I'm doing all these interview series and I really wanted to get to know more creative insights from inspirational people who are finding that alignment with their creativity in their careers. And Steve was like, JP, like he is larger than life. You got to talk to him. And I was like, okay, set it up. So I'm really glad that you were able to do this with me. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me be a part of this, for real.
Yeah, so exciting. So before we continue, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've done in the creative realm over the past, like throughout your life, but recently.
Well, what's up, guys? If you're just joining in the live, my name is it's actually Jesus, but everyone calls me JP. Actually a former NBA dancer for the Brooklyn Nets, based out of New York City, Brooklyn. It's funny. I've done so much work. I don't even know about it, but I began as a street performer, and my parents always wanted me to do the traditional, like go to school, become an architect, blah blah blah. And I was just like, this is not working out for me. So I did that and it just became a street performer. And from there on, I did my studies in how to go about the dance industry. I was heavily influenced by some guys from LA. My mentor Dietrich, he's a huge dancer as well. And I've gotten the opportunity to work with J-Lo, Madonna. I've been in movies. I've done a lot of commercials, music videos, and then I've done some stunt work. And from there on, I kind of pivoted away from the commercial world and I wanted to travel. So that's when I ended up on Celebrity Cruises. And, after the pandemic hit, like our career was pretty much like stripped away from us. And I had to find a way. I had to find a way to like stay creative because I am a huge advocate not to do the 9 to 5. I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I've done it and it just does not work for me. So I started doing social media. It's all about manifesting. And from there on, I kind of just manifested to stay in this realm. And I got the opportunity to be sponsored by Nikon. And then from there on, that's when I started doing photography. And, you know,
Amazing.
but I still managed to find a way to blend both photography and dance. And that's what my niche has become.
Yeah, because it is such a a unique fusion of creative expression. Like it's just not something you find everywhere all the time. So I think that that's awesome. And you kind of touched a little bit about what your personal insight on creativity is, something with manifesting. But what, like, how would you, if that's not your definition, what would your definition of creativity be?
Creativity to me, it is such a nitpicky topic, especially in these times, because a lot of people nowadays, especially with social media, call themselves a creator, an influencer, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fine line between, and excuse my French, throwing bullshit together and like, oh, I'm gonna go viral for this,
Yeah.
2 second video. And then there's a difference between putting in work, putting in artistic views, bringing in other people together, making
Mm-hmm.
something that's so bizarre come to life. And that's where I feel like anything that's creative in someone's mind, where they envision this and they make this come to life and people watch it and they're like, whoa, that was sick. I need to show this person that. I need to remember that. Or I want to do something like that. I feel like
Yeah.
when you point, that's when I believe that's where creative or creativity flows in.
I love it because and you're right. It is about a process. It's not just like, oh, I'm creative, like done. It's like there's so much that goes into it. Where then you are like hopefully inspiring other people to challenge themselves in similar ways.
And
That's that.
I'll give you an example. Think
Yeah.
about the best artist that you remember, like artists from back in the days. The music was amazing. I really dislike music from nowadays. And again, these people worked. They studied music. They learned how to sing. They learned how
Mm-hmm.
to play. They had a band playing with them. Now it's just you loop 3 words together and put autotune on it, and it's not the same. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know the meaning of sacrifice and hard work. And that's why I value that aspect of hard work in the creative realm.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's a huge proponent for creative authenticity, really. And you kind of also touched upon this as well, that like authenticity is sometimes I kind of like to say it's almost plagiarized, like in the social media world. And so I don't know how do you think that we can what do you think we can do to embrace our authentic creative expression? Like how do you find motivation to authentically create?
So it's hard. Sometimes I actually find myself in a bind, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so motivated. I see all these things on social media, but that's the problem. The problem is that people tend to look at what's trending, what's viral, and
Mm,
it's so much. There's such a of like a vast number of random stuff that maybe you don't correlate with. And then
mm,
I always have to tell myself what inspired you. And that's when I go back to like the old YouTube videos, the videos that were 1 hour long and teaches you how to do
mm,
something. Uh, Old dance shows, old shows that really made me do what I want to do.
mm.
Listen to old music I used to listen to, like close down the BS from nowadays. So I always go back to what initially inspired me, and that's what
Mhm.
keeps me. Oh, okay, I got an idea. Maybe I could take this from like back in the days that nobody will remember and make it my own
Yeah.
thing. So
That's
that's what I.
incredible. And again, it's going into the work that you say goes into creativity, and I think that the other thing that people associate with creativity all the time is that they have to be completely original and new. And sometimes it's about taking inspiration from somebody else and making it your own in like in amazing new ways. So I commend you for like going and doing all that work because that's what makes creativity so impactful and meaningful today, for sure. Um, so let's rewind a little bit though. We got a little deep there, and I want to know how you originally like got started dancing. You said your parents wanted you to be architects. Like those are two hugely different realms.
Uh,
And so, tell me a little bit more about your personal experience, like with that.
so again, my parents wanted me to do the usual. They're very old school, and I was doing it to some degree, but then I was just always unhappy. I actually graduated school for automotive, so I was working at BMW for a while. And unhappy at the moment. I was maybe 21, and like I was working 6 days a week from
Mhm.
like a.m. all the way to like 7 p.m. And by the time that it was Sunday, my day off, I didn't want to do anything because I was so exhausted. I was so tired. So
Mhm.
I would just sleep all day. And I was like, I'm 21 years old, goddamn. You're like,
Yeah.
why am I doing this? Why am I a slave to the system? And that's
Mhm.
I was like, no, I want to do this. And I remember when I had started dancing by then as a
Mhm.
hobby. So I was just practicing. And I remember what initially started me practicing this craft was I was watching America's Best Dance Crew. And
Okay.
there was a crew on it called Quest Crew. And I saw this guy, his name is Dietrich, who is my mentor. Like, I need to learn how to do that. Like, this is so sick. And that's what began my practice in the craft. Um, and then, when I became a street performer, I didn't know what I was doing. I was,
Mhm.
I was dancing with a group of guys out in Times Square, trying to make a buck or two. And eventually I bumped into people who were like, dude, you're so talented. You should audition for Juilliard. And I was like, what's Juilliard? Again,
Wow.
I have no idea what like I had no idea what these schools were. So I went on, I got in actually, and I went out for a year. And after that year, I ended up booking a tour with Madonna. So I went to
Awesome.
an audition. I had no idea what it was for. It was a 3 day, and again, I'm learning these pieces. Round one of elimination was day one. Day two was another elimination. Day three, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm auditioning for. Madonna walks, and I said, "Why is Madonna here?" Because this guy goes, "Because this is for Madonna's Heartbreak Tour," and I was like, I
Oh
got
my
booked.
gosh.
I was on tour for about 6 months. And when I came back, that's when I knew what I wanted to do. So I started doing more research about the dance industry. I got signed to an agency. And then shortly after that, actually that same week, I auditioned for the Brooklyn Nets. And that's when I became a dancer for the Nets here in New York. And from there on, it was just like NBA games,
Oh my
sponsorships, commercials.
gosh.
I did a music video with French Montana. Like, it was just like I was living the dream, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, just years along the line, here I am.
Amazing. Well, what a roller coaster. That is awesome.
Poster,
Congratulations.
crazy.
Congratulations. That's amazing. I love
Appreciate
it. And so, like, do you think that you did you always like want to dance, or was that
it.
just like just something you came across because of that show and you were like, oh, I can do that. Like, let's give it a try.
I was always like, I want to call myself a daredevil. I was always into doing tricks and like
Okay.
40 kid. I was like into skateboarding, BMX, all that stuff. And then
Mhm.
just when I saw that particular dancer doing that move, I was just like, that looks cool. Like, I want to learn how to do that. And then I had a back like Brazilian martial arts, and it was all kind of like just intertwining together, and that's what really like made me stick. And when I found out that I can do so much more with this gift, I was like, okay, I want to live what they're living. If they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, again, well done. That is so cool. Um, like I'm just like processing your whole history right now, like because it's one of those dream stories that you always hear about that you want for yourself and that you've actually done it. So it's like an inspiration to so many people.
Thank you.
Amazing.
It's funny because not a lot of people know the story, and my friends sometimes are like, "You need to tell your story because it's pretty freaking epic." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, it is epic. And that's like something that's so important right now. I feel like we want to connect with people in new ways. So, storytelling and getting our experiences out there for people to learn from, I think is such a huge way for us to connect, especially like right now when it's so hard to connect with people, still
Oh
with like
yeah.
lockdowns and everything. So, I like this is amazing to hear your story. Um, you also touched upon how you joined a dance group. You were with a street group, and that you like have also continued to utilize collaboration in your creativity. Like, how do you think that working with other people has influenced your creative insights or thoughts or success?
So So this is a very it's a very new thing I've been doing because a lot of my, if you go to my Instagram, a lot of my stuff has been like just me like modeling certain things. Like brands will reach out and say, "Hey, we'll send you these pants so you can like wear them and then take a shot of you flipping." Like we love
Mm-hmm.
that. That style is very like unique, and I was like, cool. So that's when that started. Now recently I worked with this guy. His name is Eric Hercules. I'm a plug him in. Go follow him because he's amazing. Um, he's a photographer, and I've been watching his work for quite a while. And he reached out. He was like, "Yo, let's collaborate." Da da da. So we met up in the city, and just the way we collaborated that day, it was kind of eye opening. And then that's when I woke up and I was like, I really want to start including more people in my work, not just
Mm-hmm.
photographers. I'm going to like find people that do bizarre things. Like if I can find a paint, I have an idea in my mind. I want to find somebody that can paint. And imagine this video, them splattering paint on this white wall while I dance to the motion of the paint. Like something like that. Like
Cool.
so I want to bring out the artistic aspect out of whatever we come together with. There's a guy who's a drummer, so those are things that I want to do where like he's playing drums and you get those really close up shots, and then I'm dancing like something very like tribal. So I
Mm.
want to touch on culture. I want to touch on like the art behind things, and just make it come to life in these like little short films. And eventually, I want to start a YouTube series where I bring all these creators in and we storytell on how we made this collaboration happen. So not only I don't want to get the spotlight for myself now, I want to feature other people
Mm-hmm.
because when I was a street performer, and this comes back to that, when I was a street performer, I saw so many talented individuals every day out dancing, singing, playing, trying to make a buck, and they don't have a record label. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people that are getting record labels off a 2-track song that has no vocabulary. And I'm like, why? Why is this marketable? Like, good for
Mm-hmm.
them. But there are people who have actual talent, who are here every day, who are not sellout, who are positive influence, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't get a shot. So if I ever make it super big where I can do what I want, I'm gonna give record labels to artists. I'm gonna give jobs to dancers, to painters, whatever it is. That's my biggest dream, because
That's
there's
amazing.
who are so talented and they don't get noticed at all. Like
Yeah.
if you really look at the most viral videos on the internet right now, is completely pointless. Like you're like, why? Why the thing?
Mm. Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
my from.
Well, that's amazing. And I'm sure artists everywhere right now are like, let's make JP famous. Like, we need it because
It's
the arts world is the one that was hit the hardest over the past year. And they are also the industry that's been struggling for so many years. Like, it's just the elite few that get to that level. And, but then, like, who defines what that elite is? Like, why can't you define it? So I think that that would be awesome. Like you are just like getting people pumped all over right now. So
it's a work in progress. Eventually, I want to build a team that can help me out because doing this alone is hard. Like
yeah.
picky and specific with how I shoot my videos. Like again, like I'm the photographer, videographer behind everything, and it's so hard to find people who are able to do that to bring my vision come to life, but like I
Hmm.
can't, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
art. So it's in the works, and eventually after that, I'm going to like have people come in and book other talent. Eventually, if we pitch the brand deals, like I'll be able to pass that on to other people. Like that's my biggest dream, to be honest.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. And that's also another reason that I believe creativity is so special because it does. It creates these links that we can offer in our lives to support each other and empower creativity in like society in the world today. So that's
Yeah,
amazing. Um, so I really love the fact that you're opening up to collaboration more so now and that you're seeing this whole new side of it because it kind of also, I'm sure, fuels your personal creative endeavors, like aside from that.
super big. It's crazy 'cause you learn from the other person. It's
Mm-hmm.
that you never thought about doing, and you learn to do that, and they learn. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I love it. I love working with other people and like finding out creative insights like yours because there's something to learn from everybody, especially in creative sense because like everybody has their own foundation of creative experience and knowledge that they can share. So I think that's incredible. What is one of your most memorable moments in your creative journey?
Oh man, I've had quite a few. Uh, Top three, I want to say, um, being with the NBA. I feel like that was such a amazing
Mm,
moment for me because I mean, I was I was on stage on the court. We say stage. I was on the stage almost every
mhm,
day, celebrities and I got to of life that like being in the like Bill Clinton shook my hand at one of the games because he was so impressed by something I did. Like that was
awesome.
you know. And then I want to say also this time now because it was so pivotal. Is that the word?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it was so pivotal in the sense of like that it showed how strong I am. Like I
Mm,
realized because there was a lot of times where like wanted to quit, wanted to just be like whatever, this is pointless, like nobody cares about artists. And
mm,
thank God I have friends and a team to support me and tell me, yo, you got this, you can do this.
mm,
And I managed to get keep it pushing and still do what I do. And I've had injuries these months, and then I'm still pushing. I'm still pushing.
mm.
The last one had to be going on the cruise. I,
Yeah.
I really, I'm not gonna lie. If I got an offer a contract, I would go because shit, it was just like one, I'm traveling the world. Two, it made me come to myself. Like
Mm,
it quieted the noise from this,
mm-hmm.
quieted the noise from the commercial world, and also like I'm just drawn to water.
Yeah, yeah.
And I met you guys. Like, so I met so many amazing people that I like. Nowadays, I hear music from like the shows or music from that we were playing the ship, and I'll just get. I want to
Yeah.
go.
It
So
is. It's such a special experience.
it
Like,
is.
uh, just like an amalgamation of cultures and people, and it changes every week. And it's like you're constantly, constantly learning and doing new things,
Yeah,
traveling new places. It was awesome.
it was
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, it was something else. Yeah, like I said, I want to do one more contract. That's it.
All right. All right.
Especially because I have like OCD. Like I have to finish something I started, and I feel like when
Mm,
we were trying to open Apex, I never got to finish that. Never got to open it.
mm,
Part of me is like, no, I need to go back and like, there we go.
yeah. Celebrity, are you watching? He wants to come back. Apex is like up and about now too. They're like getting
I'll
going.
go back, but when they reached out to me in October, I told them it's too soon. It's way
Yeah.
too soon. So I guess by saying that, they gave my part to somebody else, and they're
Mhm.
currently now. So maybe for the next round,
Nice.
there may be
Yeah.
edge, maybe like. But
Yeah.
it's so tricky because, again, I'm not a technical dancer. I'm a
Mm.
break, and I
Hmm.
know most ships don't have that role.
Yeah.
Apex only ones that have that. We need a breaker in this sense,
Right.
so it's tricky. And I mean, eh,
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know how a ship contract works, like you'll be working on a ship every single day for 6 months, and then somebody else will take your place. So, like, you would definitely have the opportunity to go back, like, either the next contract or whenever you really wanted to, I feel like at that point. And also when you feel comfortable and safe with it, too. So,
yeah,
um, but yeah, Celebrity, I think, is doing great with that. So that's awesome.
hope
And
everything down and we can keep it pushing and it goes back to the way it was.
yeah, definitely. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I want to respect your time. I know I asked for like 20 to 30 minutes and we're coming up to that 30-minute point, but do you have any other like things coming up you want to talk about or any last minute thoughts about your creative insight that you want to share with everybody?
Um, Besides the YouTube collaborations, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm super stoked about, and it's still in the works. Um, no, I mean, so far this is what I've been doing. Possibly doing another campaign with Nikon, which is going to be huge. I just finished
Awesome.
Nikon currently. I haven't posted anything about, but I think I should be able to get the green light today. Or Vishal, love you too, man. So yeah, hopefully I can get the green light and share those news today, because we created some really exciting content with one of their newest cameras, and it was
Awesome.
really
Amazing. Well, like Nikon picked a great person because it's not just like you've done all these things, but you're super kind and funny, great to talk to. I love that you're willing to share all of your experiences and knowledge. So I just want to thank you again. I want to thank everybody for checking in and showing up. JP just dropped some awesome knowledge and creative insight. So feel free to check back in and follow him if you don't already, because his content is amazing. Like it is so cool and different. So check it out. I'm like your own hype person now. Like JP, here we go, get
really
it.
that so much for real.
I love it. Well, thank you again for checking in and sharing your knowledge. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming up soon.
Ooh,
Sounds good. Have a great day.
you too. Take care.
Bye.